Dear viewers, welcome to Noorsat Satellite Station and Telelumiere TV. Noorsat Office Jordan in Palestine, represented by its regional director and the team, is pleased to present His Eminence Archbishop Jamal Khadr with the highest congratulations and blessings on his episcopal ordination and his appointment as Patriarchal Vicar for Latins in Jordan. Now let's start with the headlines. His Majesty the King and Her Majesty the Queen received the Road to Peace Award. The Latin Patriarchate celebrates the episcopal ordination of Bishop Jamal Khadr and Rafiq Nahra. The 6th anniversary of the inauguration of the Shrine of Blessed Mary Alphonsine in Salt. We also have Our Lady of the Mountain Latin Church in Anjara celebrates the Feast of Divine Mercy. Welcome back. Within the framework of his weekly Christian teachings, and as he habitually does every week, His Holiness Pope Francis welcomed the believers coming from all over the world to the Vatican, where His Holiness contemplated and said,
Most Holy Father, the English-speaking pilgrims and visitors wish to express to you their sentiments of deep respect and esteem, and to assure you of their prayers for your ministry as the successor of Peter. At the end of the audience, we will sing together the Our Father in Latin. His Holiness will then impart his apostolic blessing, which he extends in a particular way to the members of your families at home. He also intends to bless any religious articles you may have brought for this purpose, and in a special way, his blessing goes to your children, the elderly, and those who are sick. The following is a summary of the Holy Father's words this morning. Dear brothers and sisters, in our continuing catechesis on the meaning and value of old age in the light of God's word, we now turn to the biblical heroine Judith. As a young woman, Judith had saved her people by slaying the Assyrian general Holofernes. The scriptures tell us that after this victory, she returned home and spent the rest of her life with her family. Judith can serve as an example for all those older people who in retirement find themselves adjusting to a new chapter of life and new opportunities for personal growth. Like Judith, who at the end of her days divided her inheritance and set her maidservant free, the elderly can be teachers of the young in the fundamental social virtues of generosity and attentive concern for the needs of others. In old age too, God asks us to employ our talents wisely for the good of our families and of society as a whole.
During his official visit to the United States of America, Their Majesties King Abdullah II and Queen Rania Al Abdullah in New York received the Road to Peace Award. His Majesty also met with several Christian leaders in New York, where His Majesty stressed the importance of preserving the Christian presence in the region and protecting their rights in the Holy Land.
My dear friends, our journey on the path to peace must travel through Jerusalem. Billions of people around the world hold that holy city in their hearts. It is home to our prayers and home to our hopes. It is also home to many Arab Christians who are part of the oldest Christian community in the world. And it is vital for us all to protect their presence in this holy city. Jerusalem is key to the future of peace and stability that we all seek. And as custodian of its Muslim and Christian holy sites, I say to you all, my friends, that upholding the historical and legal status quo at these holy places is essential for peace, for harmony, and freedom of worship.
His Beatitude Patriarch Pier Battista Pizzabella presided over the festive Mass held by the Latin Patriarchate in the parish church of St. Catherine in Bethlehem for the episcopal ordination of the Latin Patriarchal Vicar in Jordan, Father Jamal Khadr, in the presence of a large crowd of believers. On the other hand, the Latin Patriarchate celebrated the episcopal ordination of the consecrated Latin Patriarchal Vicar Rafiq Nahra during a festive mass presided over by His Beatitude Patriarch Pier Battista Pizzabella in the Basilica of the Annunciation in the city of Nazareth. Several bishops from different parishes, a large crowd of priests, deacons, monks, and nuns, and a large crowd of believers participated in the celebration. On the feast of St. George, Archbishop Christophorus of Jordan, for the Greek Orthodox, presided over a Mass in the shrine of the saint in the town of Mahis. In the homily of the Mass, His Eminence called the believers to imitate the lives of the saints who inspire us to believe through the holiness of their lives. His Eminence was assisted in the service by Archimandrite Christophorus Haddad, the spiritual head of the city of Fahis and Salt, several fathers and deacons, and the presence of a group of believers. On the same occasion, Archbishop Christophorus presided over the sunset service of the Feast of St. George at the shrine of the saint in Salt. A few priests and deacons assisted in the service in the presence of a group of believers celebrating the feast. Thousands participated in Haifa in the procession of the Assumption of the Virgin, escorted by the statue of the Virgin from the Latin Church in Haifa to the St. Elias Monastery on Mount Carmel. The procession, in which thousands of people from the surrounding areas participated, was presided over by His Beatitude Pier Battista Pizzabella, Latin Patriarch of Jerusalem, with the participation of several bishops and priests. The crowd pulled a cart with ropes on which the statue of the Virgin Mary was carried, and around it were dozens of parents who dressed their little girls in white and blue robes, like the dress that distinguishes the Virgin. These days coincide with the 6th anniversary of the inauguration of the Shrine of Blessed Mary Alphonsine, which is located in the Latin Church of the Assumption of the Virgin Mary in Salt, where Alphonsine served in the first school in Jordan for the Latin Patriarchate schools for 2 years. A great celebration was held on this occasion for the inauguration of the shrine in the year 2016, with the presence of religious, official, and public figures, and a large crowd of attendees. On this blessed occasion, we remember Saint Alphonsine, her message and silent service, which she spent with love, faith, and hope. And in memorialization of the service provided by Mother Alphonsine to the city and its church, which was characterized by love, humility, and giving. Dr. Basim As-Sim'an, Director of Noorsat Satellite Office in Holy Land, Jordan, and Palestine, restored the shrine at the expense of her own family. A divine Mass was held in the Latin Church of Our Lady of the Mountain in Anjara on the feast of Saint Joseph the Worker and the Feast of Divine Mercy, which falls on the second Sunday after the Resurrection. The Mass was presided over by the priest of the Latin parish in Qatar, Father Samer Haddad, with the assistance of Father Yusuf Francis, pastor of the church, and several priests, deacons, and nuns, in the presence of a group of parishioners and invited guests. The liturgy included readings from the Bible, interspersed with religious hymns and prostration prayers. Supplications were raised during the prayer so that Christ would include all believers in His vast mercy. It is noteworthy that the Church of Our Lady of the Mountain in Anjara includes a holy shrine, one of the most prominent Christian pilgrimage sites in the kingdom. And in the Church of the Ascension of God in Khalda, the deacon Theodorus Suez was ordained as a new priest at the altar of the Lord during divine liturgy presided over by Archbishop Christophorus, who was assisted in the service by several priests and then in the presence of the families of the new priests and the parishioners. His Eminence congratulated the priest Suez and his family on this great blessing. After Easter ended, restoration work resumed for the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, which had been suspended before the start of the holidays. Mr. Adib al-Husseini, custodian of the key to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre and bearer of the seal of the Holy Sepulchre, confirmed that after the end of the Easter holidays, restoration work began again. He pointed out that the caravans were erected in the courtyard of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre and used as warehouses to store the equipment used in the restoration work. An Italian delegation specialized in archaeological sites visited Madaba Governorate in order to provide consultations and designs to develop the Mukawir site and preserve the mosaic spaces in its various archaeological sites. The visit came at the invitation of the Tourism Authority to submit designs for the restoration and preservation of mosaics, especially in Madaba, Rasas, Mount Nebo, and Mukawir. The delegation had visited the baptism site and Mukawir in order to prepare for the reception of pilgrims and tourists in the year 2030, which is the millennium anniversary of the beheading of John. Holy Week of Passion and the Glorious Resurrection was celebrated in the Cathedral of the Episcopal Presidency in Qatar. Archbishop of Qatar Kyrios Makarios presided over the service with the duty priest Father Demetrios, in the presence of believers from Emirates and Saudi Arabia. The holy services were held in 6 different international languages. On the night of Good Friday and Saturday, a number of ambassadors accredited in Doha participated in the service of prayers. Under the slogan, "How good and how sweet the brothers are together," His Beatitude Patriarch Raphael Sacco, in the presence of several priests and a large gathering of the Iraqi people of all sects, an evening of Christian Islamic hymns took place in Baghdad, which is the first of its kind that brought together all the Iraqi people to live in brotherhood and achieve peace. During the celebration, hymns and invocations were presented in a spiritual atmosphere. A prayer was held in the evening for Iraq and the world. In the end, Patriarch Sacco indicated that this evening expresses the brotherhood between all the Iraqi people, Muslims and Christians. Here, dear viewers, we have come to the end of our news, and those were the headlines. His Majesty the King and Her Majesty the Queen received the Road to Peace Award. The Latin Patriarchate celebrates the episcopal ordination of Bishop Jamal Khadir and Rafiq Nahra. The 6th anniversary of the inauguration of the Shrine of Blessed Mary Alphonsine in Salt. Our Lady of the Mountain Latin Church in Anjara celebrates the Feast of Divine Mercy. For more information, please visit our website www.noorsatjo.org. Thank you for watching. Until we meet again, have a good day.